Moarhammer here, got another battle report for you, and this is a relatively small one, I suppose, against a Deathrattle Vampire Count's army with my Nurgle. So, yep, just a pretty pretty straight up game, so let's get straight into the army breakdown. So here's a picture of deployments, and on the bottom there, my side, I've got my 10 warriors on the left-hand side, then my Blight Kings in the middle, behind which is Epidemius and the Swarmbringer, and then just to their right is the 10 Plague Bearers. And on his side, starting on the left, he's got his 14, I think, Grave Guard, then 14 Skeleton Warriors with a White King right behind, then another unit of 14 Skeleton Warriors with a White King Battle Standard Bearer behind. Then on the far right flank there, he's got his 5 Black Knights. So I finished deploying first, I believe, and I let him go first because I wanted the double turn. And he does this. He comes forward very cautiously, so definitely not making the most out of going first. So he stumbles forward a little bit, and there's just nothing else for him to do, so he goes straight into my turn. And I go forward. Not hugely fast, because I know how fast those Black Knights can be. I didn't really want to get hit by them too fast. I cast Mystic Shield, as well as Inspiring Presence on the Plague Bearer, so if they did get hit by the Black Knights, they'd have the most resilience in order to take it. The Chaos Warriors on the left-hand side, move up, sort of kind of clipping those woods, just in case he got a long charge. I'd have maybe a bit of cover against it. And then keeping the Blight Kings relatively central to see what he did. So we go to the initiative roll-off, and I win it, which is great. I'm a big fan of that, so I get my double turn. I move everything kind of off to the left-hand side, a bit away from those Black Knights. I'm still a bit scared of them. But I put Inspiring Presence onto the Chaos Warriors, because I knew they were going to get into combat fairly quickly, those Grave Guard, and didn't want too many running away. And I also think I failed to cast a spell this turn, so I didn't cast any Mystic Shield or anything, unfortunately. And also I left my Chaos Warriors in the woods, so if they did get charged, they'd have cover save definitely now. In my charging phase, I decided to give it a go. I gave a long bomb charge from my Chaos Warriors to the Grave Guard, and I roll a 10, and I get it in. So that's fantastic. I needed a 9 and rolled a 10, so in they go. And I was all right about this. I'm glad I got the charge, and I was hoping to knock down a fair few of them before they even get to strike, and that would be the start of what I needed to do. And then they'd be really pinned down for a while. That was the idea. So I pile in, I attack, and I only actually kill like 1 or 2. I do really badly. These were 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I killed 2, which is not very impressive considering he regenerates D3 at the start of every turn, which sucks. So yeah, that happens. Then he strikes back, and he kills 3 himself. Jesus! If it was a 6 to wound, he gets double damage, and I fluffed my roll. Oh man, God! Thank God I had Inspiring Presence, otherwise they'd probably run away. So yeah, that was very uninspiring on the Chaos Warriors part, but oh well. So we go and do his turn. He kind of moves up a bit gingerly. So his 2 Skeleton Warriors, they move up. They don't even run or anything. I think he was worried that I was going to get the next turn and charge him. But so he moved those 2 Skeleton Warriors up. He kept his Black Knights where they are because he wants to keep them in reserve. He wants to choose exactly when he brings them in. Equally, his Battle Standard Bearer at the back there, you can just see him by the red dice. He plants his banner. With no shooting or anything, we go straight into combat. He goes here first, so he did regenerate both of the Grave Guard he lost in his hero phase, and that sucks balls. But he also flubs his attacks a little bit. He doesn't roll very well, and I roll really well on my saves. He only puts a single wound through, which is great. I'm a big fan of that. So I pile in and I attack, and I kill another 1 or 2. Yeah, I think I killed 1 this turn, so not very good. These guys are not doing well. But with nothing else left, we go into the initiative roll-off, and he wins it this time. So, can't argue with that. Not too fussed. So his Skeleton Warriors come through the middle gap and around the Dragonfight DS in the middle there. I think he was hoping for a charge with at least one of them. I don't know. I think the ones on the right hand side had spears. He was going to just leave them there and see what happens. So he goes for a charge. He needs a 7 or an 8, and he gets it fairly easily. He gets at least a 6 automatically. So yeah, it was fairly easy to get in, and I was absolutely A-OK with this. I don't think he knew what Blight Kings could do, so I was more than happy to show him. So he piles in here first because he knows the Graveguard are actually doing all right, and he's not wrong. And yeah, attacks the Blight Kings and does a single wound to them, which is fine. Can't argue with that. Yeah, that's fine. So I attack my Chaos Warriors next because that's the obvious one. And again, I put down 1 or 2. He regenerated that one that I killed in his last phase because he got a double turn, so he regenerated more. So they're all back again. They're loving life, which sucks. And then again, I only put down 1 or 2. Like I'm rolling really badly, and he's rolling well for his saves. And to be honest with you, Chaos Warriors just aren't very good at killing stuff. And then when he comes to try, he kills a whole 2 Chaos Warriors. So that puts them out, which sucks. So then we go over here, the final combats, and my Blight Kings murderize most of these Skeleton Warriors. There's only a handful left, 7 or 8. So yeah, took out a decent chunk of them, which I'm quite happy about. So then we go into my turn, and the first thing that happens is the Blight Kings, for every unit within 3 inches, you roll a dice. On a 6, they take D3 mortal wounds, and that's what happened here. So we lost a couple of skeletons due to that. But also, if you roll a 6 and it's a Nurgle unit, i.e. yourself, then you heal D3 wounds. So I healed the wound that was done to that Blight King. Yay! Which is great. So in my movement phase, I put Inspiring Presence on my Chaos Warriors, because they're doing that just fine. I cast Mystic Shield on the Plague Bearers, and then I moved them into that cover in the middle. So they're now rocking a 3-up save. I moved Epidemius up around to the Skeleton Warriors, just to make sure they were finished off nicely. And with no shooting, I jumped straight into combat. So I did this one first, because this is the one I'm mostly worried about. My Chaos Warriors attack and do basically nothing. So he attacks over here with his Skeleton Warriors. He steps in, and he's able to kill another, put another wound onto one, which is fine. But then my Blight Kings attack back and murderize a bunch of them, and that's great. Then over here, he attacks with his Graveguard and does pretty well against. He kills another 2 of them, which is pretty scary. So that was not great. And then next we go to the initiative roll off, and he wins it again, which fair enough, can't argue with that. And he regenerates 2 more Graveguard that were lost. So that unit's now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, so they haven't lost a single model yet, technically. Which is fucking outstanding. Bastards. So, yeah. So he moves stuff around. His Skeleton Warriors come from the middle leg, sort of come over to the right. He's doing kind of what I'm doing. He's realised I've bunkered up onto one, so done a bit of a refused flank, so he's matching that. And that's fine. I can live with that, no problem. So we're going to combat over here. He goes first, obviously. And he's easily able to cut down the remaining 3 Chaos Warriors. And that's really sad. I actually think he may have only killed 2 and the other one ran away, to be honest. Which is fine. And then we go into my turn. And I start moving stuff forward. My Plague Bearers are basically 3 inches away from that skeleton unit, so if I want to charge them I can. My Blight Kings move up forward, and I'm just going to hopefully get them into one of the units, and same with Epidemius. The idea here, in a perfect world, I get the Blight Kings and Epidemius into the Graveguard, the Plague Bearers into the Skeleton Warriors, and that's where they want to be. In my eyes, at least. And that's exactly what happens, fortunately. So I did cast Mystic Shield on the... No, sorry, I failed to cast anything, but I put Inspiring Presence on the Blight Kings in case they lost a huge number to these Graveguard or something. I didn't want them running away, that'd be shit. So, yep, I attack with the Blight Kings first, and I do pretty well. I'm able to kill, I think, 6 Graveguard with the Blight Kings themselves. That's great. Then he piles in with his White King that's now right next to Epidemius. He was within 3 inches. He piled in, he attacks, and they... So White Kings, if they get a wound roll of a 6, they do D3 wounds instead of 1. So he got 3 hits, then he rolled 3 6s for his wounds, and I died a little inside. But then I failed 2 of my saves, but then he rolled double 1. He rolled snake eyes for his wounds, so I only took 2 wounds in the end, so that was fine. Then I attack with Epidemius before the Graveguard get hold of him, and he does really well. He kills another 6 himself, so he's down to 2 Graveguard. But there's 2 Graveguard left, and he's not immune to Battle Shock, and he's lost 12. He's gonna both run away, so I'm content now that they are both gone pretty much where that happens. So then he goes over here with his Skeleton Warriors, and he totally flubs and does absolutely nothing to the Plague Bearers, which is fantastic. Although when I attack back, I think I only maybe kill 1. I flub my attacks as well, and that's fine. Then over here, he piles with his Graveguard, does a fat load of nothing, and then disappears from Battle Shock. So that's fantastic. I'm really happy about that. So we go into the initiative roll-off again, and I win it, which is fantastic. So I start my hero phase off by casting Arcane Bolt at that White King that's with Epidemius. I get it off, but I only plink a single wound off, which kind of sucks, but hey-ho. So we move around. I do make a small mistake here. We did rectify it in a second, so I actually moved my Blight Kings around. They should have not been able to do that. They were within 3 inches of the White King, so they shouldn't have been able to move. They just had to pile in the next phase, but we figured that out in a second and do that. So yeah, we go into the charge phase, or the combat phase, and my Blight Kings pile in around. And that's about it. That's all that's happening. So I do attack with my Blight Kings first, I believe. Oh, sorry. Also, Epidemius healed one of his wounds from the Blight King's power thing, which is great. But I attack with my Blight Kings first, and they actually roll pretty badly. I only do a single wound to the White King. He's got 3 up saves, so he's pretty hard to get rid of, to be honest. So, only do a single wound. And then he attacks me and plinks a single wound to Epidemius, and that's fine. Then I attack with my Plague Bearers, and I'm able to kill a couple, only 1 or 2. How many is that? 1, 2, 5, 10. Yeah, I kill 4, I think, Skeleton Warriors, which is fine. And when he attacks back, he kills 2 Plague Bearers, and I can live with that, that's fine. Then we go over to here, and Epidemius brings up his whatever he's got and hits him in the face and kills the guy, so fantastic. Got 1 wound through, rolled a 3 for the D3. He only had 3 wounds left. He's dead, and that's fantastic. Then we go to his turn, and his Black Knights that you forgot about, I bet. So did I. I charged out from behind that cover, ready to smash into the back of the Plague Bearers, and that was a bit scary, to be honest. A bit scary. But Epidemius at this point has got his tally up to full, so I'm re-rolling all 1s to hit and wound, and my saves on everything is +1, so these Plague Bearers are currently with a 4-up save, re-rolling 1s, and yeah, they're doing pretty well. So they should be alright, fingers crossed. So he charges straight in with no shooting on his side, and obviously he attacks with them first, and he does pretty poorly, to be honest. They've only got 1 attack each, so they're not great at killing stuff like this, but they do. They kill 2 Plague Bearers overall, and actually one of these with the horses, so that's fine. Then we go to my Blight Kings, who were close enough to pile in, so they do exactly that, get 4 of them in there to attack the Skeleton Warriors, and I butcher a bunch of them. I kill about 5, so I don't roll great, but yeah, I can live with that. And then I attack with my Plague Bearers. I don't really do much. I maybe kill a skeleton here or there, but yeah, nothing really happens. So we go into his turn, I think. Oh, I can't remember if this is initiative roll-off or just his turn, but either way, we go into his turn, and off. The skeletons re-heal 6 of their number, so they get back to full strength. These fucking things are so difficult to get rid of. Without decent, high damage attacks, these guys just keep popping back up. So yeah, there's that. So we go straight into combat. His knights attack first and kill a single Plague Bearer. I think this is actually the horses again, so great. Then I attack with my Blight Kings, and I butcher a bunch of the Skeleton Warriors. But then he attacks back with his skeletons, actually kills... Sorry, no. This is the White King with the banner. He piled in and managed to plink 2 wounds off Blight King, so killing 1 and wounding another. That's not too bad. My Blight Kings, when they attacked, they did put 2 wounds onto the White King as well, so that's fine. Then my Plague Bearers attack. They kill another couple of skeletons, no big deal. Then Epidemius comes in, but he wasn't actually close enough to get any attack, so even though he's piled in, he couldn't attack, which is kind of shitty, but can't win them all. Then we go into my turn, and well, we basically go straight into combat, and I butcher the rest of the Skeleton Warriors with relative ease. And I also kill a Black Knight, so that's great. So, yeah, then his Black Knight's attack, don't really do much. Epidemius piles in, murders the 3 more Black Knights, there's only 1 of them left, and that's pretty much, so yeah, that unit's done now. And we call it there. That's the end of the game right there. All he's got left is 1 Black Knight who's caught up with a bunch of very angry Blight Kings. So yeah, another pretty solid victory for the Legions of Nurgle. Despite those Chaos Warriors being shit, the Blight Kings pulled it out. Holy shit, the Blight Kings. I'm pretty sure the Blight Kings killed about 80% of his army. They killed that in the first block of 14 Skeleton Warriors. Half the Graveguard, both White Kings, a Black Knight, and most of the other unit of skeletons. They just ruined their faces. So good. I'm so happy with these Blight Kings. They're so good. So that's absolutely fantastic. So yep, there you go. That's the end of the game. Thank you very much for watching. If you've got any feedback or comments, please leave them in the comments section. Subscribe, like the video, or follow me on Twitter at MoreWarGames, where you get all the most recent updates on things and stuff. So thanks very much, guys, and I'll see you soon. Cheers. Bye.